Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space for all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we do write thought pieces every other Sunday. We actually have a thought piece scheduled to drop in the upcoming month, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we've provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time you post, and of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les mecs et les mecs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today's topic of discussion is education. On the topic of education, we're going to be talking about how it feels to wear that learner's hat, how uncomfortable it is to be cognizant of how little we know about the topic that we're broaching, and why we need to get over it. And I think this is an important conversation to have because many of us don't venture into new horizons. We don't explore the things that make us curious because it also will require us to be a novice, for us to wear that learner's hat, and it can be daunting. And as someone who loves growing and who loves learning, I'm not excluded from that group, right? I still have my moments where I have imposter syndrome, or I have my moments where I can feel the gap between how much I know and how much I need to know to really perform. And I think that's the indicator there. I think that's the performance factor is what makes learning so daunting, because all of us want to be performant, right? And we are groomed, we are conditioned, we are raised to perform. It's those who excel are those who can perform under pressure, under different environments, and it's very hard to hold yourself to the expectation of performance when you're just learning. And so I want to give you some guardrails that I give myself when it is the case that I am recognizant that I'm still on my learning curve and I'm not really in a position to perform, but I want to be performant. I want to show my eagerness to learn so that I can perform, and how I give myself some wiggle room so that performance can be well underway. So I think with a lot of different roles, there comes a certain balance between the soft skills that you bring that are fairly transferable from role to role, and then the technical aptitude. And I think with technical skills, I've acquired a lot of technical skills in my background, but there's still so much more to learn. With every role, with every environment, there's a new tool, a new skill to build on, and I'm always excited about it. So I think I have to say I'm always excited to learn a new skill, and I always enjoy the wonderment that happens when I recognize that I'm not really very comfortable with a specific tool, and I want to learn how to be comfortable with that tool, but typically because I'm a kinesthetic visual learner, I need to see other people using it quite a bit, and then I need to touch it and I need to use it on my own before I develop that proficiency. So someone talking to me about the tool, I really need to see them maneuvering the tool, and I build that kind of script, I build that kind of user guide in my head as I see someone navigating through a specific tool. Them talking about the tool and all of its features doesn't help so much by way of learning and retention, but watching them, then having the opportunity to apply those skills helps gain that proficiency. And I find that when you think about like the 30, 60, 90, how little you knew within the first 30 days within a given environment, then how much more you knew at 60, then how much more you knew at 90, but there's still that pressure to perform because as much as you're learning, you're still not 100% proficient. And that's why most companies, when they hire you in, they give you the first 12 months to gain proficiency because it typically takes the business cycle to have exposure to all of the elements that you would need to have the capacity to be proficient in all of the areas that you're expected to have your hands in those specific buckets. But I think that we can hold ourselves to our own learning plan, right? And so that's what I typically like to do. I like to give myself an opportunity to hear the conversations happening, watch people use the tools, have an opportunity to leverage those tools on my own, at my own pace, and then as I develop the proficiency and I hit my own inner milestones, I start to pick up the pace and become more performant. And so I find that the more you perform, the more is expected of you. So there's always like this pressure where people will give you space to be performant when you're new, but the moment that they see a certain level of aptitude, then they hold you to a higher expectation. I think that it's great to have that relay, to have that challenge factor, but sometimes it can build up a momentum and a pace that will plateau at a certain point if you're like approaching a topic that is a little bit more complex than the topics previous. So I think that it's important that we're very vocal about our learning curve, vocal about what it is that we need, and we get the support that we require. And so I don't believe learning happens in a vacuum, and I love being around people who know more than me when I'm learning something new. I think that it's so much more fun to have people who have that expertise that you can tap on, that you can nudge, that not only understand like the tactile aspects of it, but they can give you such a deeper, more enriching perspective on how you leverage those tools and that information. And another area where this is really important, touching a little bit on the prickly conversation that I started off earlier this week, is how when we feel like we don't have the right information, it makes us quiet. And I think that there's a certain level of wisdom in not speaking when you don't have all the information and all the facts in front of you. I think that it's important to speak from a place of being informed, but also you need to be cognizant of what information is pertinent. And I think that when we're talking about information that pokes at our values, at our morals, then there's not a whole heck of a lot of information that you need to have a response that's in alignment with your values and with your morals that are in question when you stay silent. And so when I think about learning, when we think about politics, when we think about socio-political dynamics, when we think about interactions and exchanges between people, between countries, where there's a history at play, there's not a whole heck of a lot of that history that you need to feel like you need to know if what's happening in front of you is playing at your value system. Is like, well, you know what, I get that there's a history here. There's no amount of history that's justification for anyone to feel inclined to silence you. And I think that we've reached this point where there's a community of people who think that they have the best practices of communication, of using your voice. And I think all of us can build our own toolkit around when we want to use our voice, when we don't. And so this is really about just redefining the learner mindset, not feeling so insecure about being in that learner seat, because it's a seat that we all want to be in if we're focused on growth and evolution, but not allowing ourselves to feel like our voice doesn't have a place if we are still figuring out the details. There are different situations where the details are par for the course. If it's triggering at your emotions, if it's triggering at your values, then speak from a place of conservative. Like, you can be conservative in how you approach the topic, but if you feel like there's something wrong that's happening in front of you, then speak about the specific thing that you think that is wrong that's happening in front of you, seek clarification, and then move forward in that vein. But don't ever allow yourself to feel silenced, to feel muted, to feel lesser than, to feel like an imposter, because you're learning and you want to perform, you want to engage, you want to participate, but you're learning. That's a great position to be in, because you get to have the exposure to the abundance of wealth of information around you, but you need to take that chance first. So that was the topic for today. A little bit career focused, a little bit life focused, a little bit socio-political, what's going on in the world today focused as well. But the main thread really was really embracing being a learner and not letting anyone make you feel bad about not performing when you're learning. You're not going to be able to do both at the same time, but when you're learning, give yourself the appropriate foundation to hit the ground running once you have that proficiency in place. So that was it, but definitely not all. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, then I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yes, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, as well as access to webinars and workshops largely focused on self-mastery over and above those events. So check it out. Be part of our game changer community, being part of the change that you want to see, allowing us a small role to play in your journey. We are on the road to 1K, so we do invite you to follow us across all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.